All right, we back. Let me let y'all see this. All right, we back. I had to do a re-recording because I had some technical difficulties, but we're back. I shouldn't even have said that because this is a fresh start. All right, I got some things I want to talk about. Something that got under my skin a little bit. You know, I might make some enemies, but I don't care. I got to tell my truth. I got to tell my truth or how I feel. Even though I don't like to use that word feelings, because feelings, you being too emotional about it. Feelings don't necessarily mean emotions attached to it. Yeah, you feel something, but the emotion part is I don't even want to get that deep. All right, let me see what the all right. All right, we got it. Let me see something. I'm gonna do it like this. So I have no problems. Give me a second. Give me a few seconds. I want to make this post. All right, let me see. Anybody pop in yet? Legendary Boxer 2026. I appreciate you popping back in. Appreciate you. Got some things to talk about. I'm gonna let at least one or two more people get in here. Yeah, it's like this disgusting. I mean, this conversation has been bubbling. It's been like in the community. Give me a second. I'll be right back. But all right. Blaster X, salute. Appreciate you being here. Boxing Lounge. Y'all will come every time when I'm about to do a movement. Y'all come. Give me a second. But I got something I want to talk about, especially with y'all. I'll be right back. Give me a second. All right, I'm back. I'm back. What's up? I'm precisely. Yeah, this is something I want to discuss. It's about offline and online. There's a debate and there's a push for there to only be focused on online modes. And that right there, that's crazy. Yeah, please hit the like button. Please hit the button. But it's a divide. Like they're like pushing, like the content creators are pushing for online modes only. That's crazy. Everybody don't want to play online, especially if there's online only. When online fails, you don't have an offline mode. So I'm gonna dig deeper into that because I wrote a script for that. But what do y'all think about offline online? Where do y'all sit in this? Do y'all play both or y'all exclusively online mode players? Let me see what y'all say before I start reading my script. Y'all still here? Let me see. I'm trying to give y'all a few seconds to see how y'all feel about online and offline modes. Should there always be an option for either or? Their thing is they're pushing. It makes me think that some of these guys be talking to the developers and they're like, hey, let us just focus on online. Let us only focus on the esports aspect of a game. Exactly. The game sells more that way. The game will sell more. It's like people like this, they have this selfish mentality like, hey, we just want online, but it's not going to do large numbers. If it's just an online, a person be like, hey, I'm not buying it. If it ain't got no offline mode, I'm not buying the game. So that means the numbers drop. You want to gather as many numbers as you can. Even for the super casual fans, there should be an option for casual fans. But y'all trying to, hey, let's just think about online and esports. No, that's crazy. And what I'm referring to, I try not to go at content creators or stuff like that. But Crooks made that was saying that he like constantly said it. He was saying that online mode basically should be focused. And that like kind of like triggered me. I'm like, yo, what you mean online mode should only be focused on? The whole game should be focused on. And then I hate when these content creators, they like, it's their first game. We gotta hold back some. It's their first game. Man, it's been 6 years, man. Shut up. It's been 6 years. It's been 6 years. And y'all keep saying it's their first game. Y'all sound just as ignorant as the people. What's that game that everybody paid all that money for? It's a space simulator or something. It's been over 15 years and people still was giving them money. That's how ignorant people sound. But that's their first game too. The 15-year wait, and people can say it's their first game. They're making a space simulator, a space video game simulator. And people were paying hundreds. Some people was paying $1,000 for that. That's stupid. That's stupid. But I can't judge people what they like. But my thing is when you try to take away what somebody want to benefit you, you just want online. It's not going to make me an online player. That's my decision. You're not going to make me an online player. If the game play like it played in the beginning, I would play some online. But I like my options, which everybody should like. All right, let me read my blog. I'll check the chat afterwards. Let me see. I mean, not my blog. It's a script that I wrote. All right, let me see. All right, we go with the loading screen, taking forever. Yeah, it gets me annoyed. Some of these people, they try to befriend you. They like try to be your friend, hoping that they can pull you to the other side to think the way they think. Nah, man, I'm not thinking like that. That's not what I like. I want options. And my thing is I support them, but they want me to support their ideas. They want me to support their ideas, but they don't want to support my ideas. Or hey, no options. Poe want options, I'm gonna support him. You know, I try to support everybody in this community, but once you said what you said, it's like you dividing us. I used to be pro or offline. Everything I was talking about was offline. But I as a community person, I said, hold up. I gotta, say I want stuff for all of us. Give me a second. Because I had to restart my computer and everything that I had on my script, it's a long script. That's how heated I was. Yeah, I was kind of heated, so I wrote a long script. Well, I got a long script. Let me see. Here we go, right here. Give me a second, y'all. Gone. I don't think I'm gonna get through all this today. All right. Yeah, I wrote a lot. All right, here we go, right here. No, that's not it. Gone. I was writing. All right, here we go. The push to force online, why the offline doesn't matter narrative falls apart. The push to force online, why the offline doesn't matter narratives fall apart. You cannot force players to become online players. The idea that pushing online players harder will convert offline players misunderstands. Hold up, what I'm reading. The idea that pushing online harder will convert offline players misunderstands players' behavior. Offline first players don't respond to reduce offline content by suddenly embracing ranked matches. They respond by not buying the game. I won't buy it. Disengage early or sticking with older titles that respect their play style. That's not conversion, that's attrition. You're taking away a fan base. Online communities grow by attraction, not coercion. Are you trying to make them go on to the online? That's not going to do it. Trying to force them. Removing or neglecting offline doesn't expand the online base. It filters out buyers before they even get there. Online makes more money is not a proven rule for boxing games. Yes, some online focused games generate massive post-launch revenue, but those games usually have enormous player populations, stable netcode, long-term matchmaking health, anti-cheat infrastructures, and offer sports or influencer pipelines. The influencer pipeline, that's basically what I'm getting at. Boxing games do not operate at that scale. Without verified data showing that boxing games sustain large competitive population long term, generate meaningful recurring spend post purchase, and retain player online for years. The claim that online makes more money is an assumption, not a fact. Because people that, even if they play offline, they still buying content to play them characters offline, or whatever they buy for offline. If they buying gems, robes, or anything, it's still going for offline too. Offline or online. Yeah, you coming online to buy it, but it's for offline and online. More importantly, offline monetization only exists after the game is sold. More importantly, offline monetization only exists after the game is sold. Offline is what sells the game in the first place. Offline content is not a side feature. It's the primary reason many players buy boxing games at all. Career modes, creation suites, progression systems, replay value, and long-term ownership are what justify the purchase for a massive segment of the community. Weakening offline reduce upfront sales. Weakening offline limits word of mouth. Weakening offline and shortens the game lifespan. A weekend offline shortens the game's lifespan. You cannot monetize online players who never bought the game. You can't monetize online players who never played the game. So that means you're trying to get offline players to become online players who never bought the game. Offline isn't competing with online revenue. It's the entry point that makes any revenue possible. Competitive players are loud, not automatically the majority. Competitive online players dominate discourse, not the Discord, discourse. They post more, they stream more, they argue more, they shape the narrative, but visibility is not market size. But visibility is not the market size. Many offline players don't engage in debates, don't post online, don't argue on social media. They just quietly buy games and play them. Design a game around the loudest group instead of the largest group is a well-known, Designing a game around the largest group instead of the largest group is a I said that wrong again, excuse me. Designing a game around the loudest group instead of the largest group is a well-known failure pattern in game development. Offline is competitive infrastructure, not the opposite of competition. Competitive online play does not exist in isolation. It depends on mechanics learned offline, spacing, timing, stamina management, experimentation without pressure, and systems that allow players to understand boxing itself. Offline modes are where players build the competence required to enjoy online matches. Weak offline systems leads to worse online matches, higher frustration, faster drop-off, and a smaller competitive pool. If competitive players truly matter, then offline quality matters even more. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Oh, there's a lot of y'all came in here. What's up, Norton Solo? We need options in yeah. I agree with you on that. Online focus leads to profits over the product. What's up, Leafy? Pound for pound boxing game. Forcing online ignores real-world constraints. Many players have unstable internet, live in regions with small matchmaking pools, experience latency and desync, or at non-peak hours. For them, just play online isn't a preference, it's a barrier. Those players are still customers. They still buy games. They still matter. That's the thing. It's like you forcing, it's like that dictatorship mentality. No, we're going to make everybody play online. If they like boxing, they're going to play online. Man, if you like boxing, that don't mean I don't even like the game and it's boxing. Because the game is broken. But y'all keep saying, well, because you should love it. It's boxing. If that's the case, I would buy all these boxing games that they're making, all these single player people that's making boxing games. Or I still would be playing the M's. Because y'all trying to dictate what people think. My thing is, hey, you think the way you think. Don't force it on nobody else. I'm not with that. Online is fragile. Offline is durable. Online experiences rely on servers, population health, continued support, and flawless infrastructure. Offline works on launch day, years later, and after support ends. Games with strong offline content age better, retain value, and remain playable long after online modes decline. That's not nostalgia, it's product longevity. Competitive focus without stability backfires. Pushing competitive online hardest while desync issues remain. Pushing competitive online hardest while matchmaking is unstable. Pushing competitive online hardest while exploits exist. And net codes is questioned. Don't elevate the game. It exposes its weakness faster. Offline absorbs flaws. Online amplifies them. This is especially relevant when a game has already had a long development cycle and continued post-launch support. At some point, give them time. Stop being an excuse and start being avoidance. Stop being an excuse and start being avoidance. Offline players are not anti-online. Like I keep telling y'all, most offline focused players are not hostile to online players. They simply want choice, depth, ownership, and progression. The hostility usually comes from the opposite direction, while a preference turns into a demand to remove or diminish offline entirely. That's not about improving the game. That's about exclusion. The uncomfortable truth, this is often about control. Some players push online harder, not because it's healthier for the game, but because they want larger matchmaking pools. They want easier access to wins. They want validation through rankings. That's understandable, but it's not a design priority. A game should serve the entire audience, not optimize itself around one group's convenience. Online matters, competitive play matters, but pretending offline doesn't matter or trying to bully players into online shrinks the audience, fractures the community, and reduces total sales. A strong boxing video game doesn't choose sides. It builds a deep offline foundation, then allows online competition to thrive on top of it. Offline is not outdated. Offline is not optional. Offline is respect for the genre, the audience, and the product itself. Let me see. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. What's up, Lamont Davis? Salute. Let me see. Rebuttal. Why the online only and first game defense no longer holds up. It's their first game stopped being a shield a long time ago. I'm gonna be jumping back and forth with that online and offline, but you know, I'm going through some topics I wrote. I wrote them. I start writing something else, and then I said, "No, let me go back to that." I wrote something else, then I said, "Let me go back to that." But y'all will catch on. Online only and first game defense no longer holds up. It's their first game stopped being a shield a long time ago. People keep saying that. Somebody said that today in a video. I don't know if the video was today or yesterday, but they said in a video. It's their first game. It's their first game stopped being a shield a long time ago. The argument might work during early access, during year one, during experimental phases. It does not hold up after 6 years of development. Full price release, post-launch patches, multiple platforms, continued monetization and promotion. Continued monetization and promotion and marketing. Doesn't hold up. But y'all quick to, it's like y'all scared that they're not gonna make a game. Hey, we gotta help them out. No, you helping them out, it's not gonna make them make a better game. What you're doing is helping them not make a better game. At some point, first game stops being context and starts being a voice of accountability. Players don't buy a prototype, they bought a finished product. Players didn't buy a prototype, they bought a finished product. Online only is not a vision, it's a risk transfer. Online only is not a vision, it's a risk transfer. Pushing online only doesn't magically make the game better. It transfers risk from the developer to the player. If netcode struggles, if desync exists, matchmaking fails, population dips, then the player has nothing to fall back on. Offline modes aren't anti-progress, they're consumer protection. Defending online only while those issues persist isn't confidence. It's asking players to accept instability as normal. Defending a studio doesn't equal a game being healthy. That's the difference between wanting a studio to succeed. There's a difference between wanting a studio to succeed and excusing every shortcoming indefinitely. Defending SCI by dismissing offline concerns don't help the game. It narrows the audience, lower expectations, and silently validate feedback. Silence validate feedback. It silences it. A healthy community doesn't say, lower your standards because it's hard. It says, you've had time, now prioritize correctly. A healthy community does not say, lower your standards because it's hard. They say, you had time, now prioritize correctly. Online first only works when online is bulletproof. Online first only works when online is bulletproof. Online-centric design only makes sense when netcode is proven, Matchmaking is stable. Cheating is controlled. Latency is predictable. Population size is sustainable. If those conditions aren't met, pushing online harder doesn't grow the game. It amplifies its weaknesses. Offline absorbs flaws. Online exposes them. Offline is not competing with online. It feeds it. This is where the narrative really breaks. Offline players learn mechanics, practice timing, understand stamina and spacing, build confidence. Those are players who eventually become online players. If you weaken offline, you don't grow competitive play. You choke the pipeline. So arguing against offline while claiming to care about competitive health is contradictory. Online makes more money. It's not proven for boxing games. Online makes more money. It's not proven for boxing games. And this is what I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't. Because when you're talking about people buying the DLC and all that, that's for offline too. It's for offline too. Online monetization works best in genres with massive daily concurrency, global matchmaking pools, years-long live service pipelines. Boxing games do not operate at that scale. What is proven? Offline depth drives purchases. What is proven is purchases are required before monetization exists. What is proven is a smaller buyer base equals less online revenue anyway. A smaller buyer base equals less online revenue anyway. You can't monetize players who don't buy the game because it lacks offline value. Forcing online is not player-centric. It's convenience-centric. Let's be honest. Some players push online only because they want larger matchmaking pools. They want more opponents. They want faster queues. That's understandable, but it's not a design philosophy. A game is not built around one group's convenience. It's built around serving the entire audience or fan bases. Criticism doesn't equals hate, and accountability doesn't equal disrespect. Calling out weak offline support is not attacking the studio. Saying the first game excuse has expired is not being unreasonable. It's acknowledging reality. If the studio wants to be taken seriously as a long-term developer, then fans must be allowed to hold them to long-term standards. Online matters. I read that. It's repeating itself. All right. All right, Q&As. Here goes some Q&As. Let me see what you're saying in the chat before I do the Q&As. Y'all listening. All right. Why do players want offline minimized? That's a question. The answer is because offline doesn't benefit their experience directly. They make personal preference for market reality. Does competitive focus automatically mean better gameplay? Answer, no. Competitive focus exposes flaws faster. It doesn't fix them. If online is so profitable, why do studios still market offline features? If online is so profitable, why do studios still market offline features? Because offline is still what convinces many players to buy the game at all. because offline is still what convinces players to buy the game at all. Why is offline always the first thing sacrificed? Because it doesn't scream loudly on social media, not because it lacks value. Is an online only push actually about money or convenience? Often convenience, smaller scope, fewer systems, less long-term maintenance. Can competitive balance exist without deep offline systems? No. Balance starts with mechanics testing, AI modeling, and offline tuning. Why do people equate modern with online only? Because they confuse technology trends with good design decisions. Does online only help new players enter the genre? No. It raises the skill floor and punishes beginners away immediately. And that's why a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, I want online only," because they're trying to force people that don't play online to play online so they could build up their records. And that's crazy. When people try to build up these records, it's what people be talking about. Hey, he collecting all these wins. He don't want to lose. You're doing the same thing when you talk about these boxers and stuff. Doing the same thing. Oh, he's not fighting such and such. You're doing the same thing because you're fighting an inexperienced person that don't play online, but you want them to come online so you can build up your record. You're doing what boxers, all these boxers y'all talk about. You're doing the same thing. Why do boxing games suffer more from online stability than other genres? Because time and space and the hit detection are far less forgiving. Is offline development wasted? Is offline development wasted effort if players go online later? No, offline is training, onboarding, and skill development. Why does offline criticism get labeled as hating? Why does offline criticism get labeled as hating? Because it challenges the narrative that the game is already good enough. Can online be the backbone if population drops? No, online collapses without scale. Offline does not. Let me read that again. Can offline be the backbone if population drops? No. Offline collapse without scale. Offline does not. Does competitive focus justify shallow content? No. Competition thrives on depth, not absence. Why do defenders bring up first game so often? Because it's emotionally protecting, not analytically sound. Why do defenders bring up first game so often? Because it's emotionally protective, not analytically sound. Exactly. When does the first game stop being relevant? When does the first game stop being relevant? At full release, full price, and post-launch monetization. Is defending SCI the same as defending the product? No. You can't support a studio without criticizing decisions. Why does offline content age better than online content? Because it doesn't depend on servers, populations, and updates. Is esports potential a valid reason to ignore offline? No. Esport require a massive base that offline helps create. Is esports potential a valid reason to ignore offline? No, esports require a massive base that offline helps create. Why do some players fear offline death? Because it exposes mechanical weakness where AI mirrors real boxing. Does online only increases replay value? Only temporarily. Offline increases replay value permanently. Can competitive players exist without casual players? No. Casual fund the ecosystem. Competitive players rely on it. And when they say casual, we're talking about offline players. And anybody that plays offline is not a casual player. I know a lot of y'all love to say that. Bro, you're a casual player. No, I'm not a casual player. Why is boxing different from shooters and online design? Boxing is precision based, not volume based. Does online only reduce development complexity? Yes, and that's exactly why it's appealing to some developers. See, they got these content creators pushing this narratives. I know they are. They got content creators pushing the narratives. And some of the content creators, they pushing the narrative on their own. You're not going to force people to be online players. They're just going to play the older games. Let me see. Why do offline players feel dismissed? Because they're treated as outdated rather than underserved. Is offline dominance proof of player demand? No, it's proof of visibility, not preference. Why do online defenders rarely discuss longevity? Because online longevity is unpredictable and hard to guarantee. Does offline help accessibility? Yes. Offline removes latency, toxicity, and ranking anxiety. Why does online only arguments avoid discussion, refunds, and drop off? Because those numbers contradicts the everyone loves online claim. Why do online only arguments avoid discussing refunds and and drop off? Because those numbers contradicts the everyone loves online claim. Is just patch it a valid defense? Is just patch it a valid defense? No, patches are not a substitute for foundational systems. Why do players defend decisions that reduce their own options? Tribalism. Defending a side becomes more important than the product. Can a boxing game survive server shutdown without offline? No, it becomes unplayable. And y'all better stop buying those digital copies, because if something shut down, y'all can't play it. Y'all think, hey, I'm going with the modern day stuff. They got y'all fooled. Y'all don't want to buy hard copies, but when things shut down, you can't play y'all digital copies unless you backed it up on your game or copied it. Some things you definitely gotta have online. Give me a second, y'all. Yes. All right. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Why do offline encourages experimentation? Why does offline encourage experimentation? There's no punishment for failure. Does online only benefits players with limited time? No. Offline respect fragmented schedules. Offline respects fragmented schedules. Why is offline crucial for created boxers? Because progression and identity matters more than win-loss records. Is ranked play meaningful without context? No. Offline gives context, story, and purpose. Why do some players equate criticism with entitlement? Why do some players equate criticism with entitlement? Because accountability makes people uncomfortable. My thing is, I don't feel entitled because to feel entitled, that means I really have a say. I really have some type of control. I don't have no control. People like, Poe, you feel like you're entitled. How do I feel like I'm entitled? How do I feel like I'm entitled? That's crazy. Does online competition require offline mastery? Yes. Raw online play without grounding leads to frustration. Yes, raw online play without grounding leads to frustration. Why does offline matter more in boxing than arcade sports? Why does offline matter more in boxing than arcade sports? Boxing relies on rhythm, psychology, and pacing. Is removing offline actually bold design? No. It's risk avoidance disguised as innovation. Let me see who came up in here. Sup, Mike Adams? Yeah, man, I'm trying to dig deep. Why does offline encourage long-term fandom? Because players build memories, not just rankings. Because players build memories, not just rankings. Do online advocates consider regional player disparity? Rarely, and it's a major oversight. Do online advocates consider regional player disparity? Rarely, and it's a major oversight. Is online only respectful to buyers? Is online only respectful to buyers? Only if online is flawless, which is rare. Why do boxing fans resist online only more than other genres? Because boxing fans value authenticity and control. Keyword, control. Does offline allow better AI evolution? Yes. AI improvements don't rely on player population. Why is offline crucial for modding and creativity? Mods thrive in stable, self-contained systems. Can online-only games preserve history? No. Offline archives careers, fighters, and moments. I know I said fighters, boxers. Why do competitive players underestimate casual loyalty? Because casual loyalty is quiet, not vocal. I don't know why chat rewrote what I wrote as casual. Offline players is not casual. Everybody that plays offline is not a casual player. Does online only reduce Q&A burden? It shifts bugs to players instead of solving them. Does online only reduces Q&A burdens? It shifts bugs to players instead of solving them. Why does offline strengthen brand trust? Because it guarantees value regardless of server health. Why does offline strengthen brand trust? Because it guarantees value regardless of server health. I hope y'all listening, Steel City, and everybody else that's in the gaming industry that watches my videos. And I appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody that's in the gaming industry that watch my videos. Yes, they do, and I'm not making it up. People actually tell me they watch these videos. Can offline coexist with competitive fans? Yes. Only exclusion makes it a conflict. Why does offline matter to older gamers specifically? Why does offline matter to older gamers specifically? Time, patience, and immersion matter more than rankings. And y'all think is this the thing that bugged me out. And it's kind of ignorant too. Their thing is, hey, you're old. You shouldn't be playing the game. You shouldn't even be playing. Come on, man. If this how you could tell people don't do their history. I'm gonna explain this one more time. In my mother era, my mother's 85. No, my mother's 86. In my mother era, they did certain things. And they say, hey, you shouldn't play with certain, play with this or play with that. All right. Then when my era came, I mean, not my era, before me, my brothers and sisters, they were older than me. They was playing cards. They were shooting pool. People were shooting pool and stuff like that. And the women were saying, hey, why are you playing pool? Hey, why are you playing cards? Then they matured it so you could play it. They made mature versions of it. So now we're in modern times. So I grew up playing video games. So that still trickles over in my era, because video games is my era. Y'all try to, like, when you get old, it no longer be a part of your era. No, video games is part of my era too. And y'all keep saying that because y'all don't want older people to have a voice. Y'all should want everybody to buy the game. It means they're going to make more games. Y'all really don't think. Let the old man talk for y'all, because y'all keep calling me old man. I'm middle age. I'm not old. I'm a middle age. But my thing is, y'all keep trying to push people out that could put money into this game and help it survive. That's the craziest thing ever. What's that? Because y'all hate your parents. Y'all shouldn't hate older people. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like y'all don't have respect for people. Y'all couldn't say, oh, hey, old dude, old this, old that. That's crazy. I never did that to older people. I still respect people older than me. I grew up saying, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Yes, yes. My son says, yes, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. But y'all always try to push people out for y'all narrative, y'all agendas. And it's stupid. It's really stupid. Let all us so-called old people stop buying video games and see how much they sell. No, I ain't going to go there. All right. Does online only assume infinite support budgets? Yes. Hold up. Let me see. Does online only assume infinite supports budgets? Yes. And that assumption often fails. Why do players confuse difficulty with death? Why do players confuse difficulty with death? Because competitive stress feels meaningful even when systems are shallow. Is offline a nostalgia request? No, it's a design necessity for simulation genres. What happens if offline is ignored long term? What happens is offline is ignored long term. The audience shrinks, truth erodes, and the genre stagnates. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat before I move on. Offline is a primary purchase driver, not a bonus. For a larger portion of boxing games buyers, offline is the reason they buy the game at all. Career mode players, creation suite players, long-term single player fans, casual and older gamers, players with limited or unsustainable internet. If offline is minimized, these players don't switch to online, they opt out of the purchase entirely. That's an immediate hit to the unit sales. Online revenue depends on offline sales first. Every argument about online makes more money skips one step. You cannot monetize a player who didn't buy the game. You cannot monetize a player who did not buy the game. Offline death convinces people to buy day one. Offline death justifies full price. Offline death expands the buyer pool. If offline is weak or sidelined, fewer people buy the game, fewer people reach online, fewer people are available to monetize. Online monetize shrink when offline shrinks. Minimizing offline shrinks the audience, not the mode. Online only logic assumes players will adapt. Online only logic preference are flexible. Online logic assumes demand is elastic. That's false. Sports and some players are preference driven, not trend driven. When a game doesn't serve how they play, they leave, not compromise. The result, smaller launch sales, weaker word of mouth, faster population drop. That hurts both offline and online. Offline is what protects sales when online is unstable. I read all that. Let me see that. Offline extends the sales tail. Games with strong offline games with offline content sells longer, get recommended years later, maintain resale and replay value. Games that rely heavily on online spike early, fall off hard, disappear when population dips. Minimizing offline shortens the game commercial lifespan. That's not opinion. It's basic product longevity. A lot of people be talking about off of how they feel, what they think. No, I feel that offline is better. I feel that offline, if they just had offline only, the online people would gravitate to the online. That's not true. That's you thinking that. There's no logic behind it. It's no data behind it. It's nothing behind it. Unless a developer is telling you that to push that narrative. Offline supports regions and demographics online cannot reach. Large segment of buyers don't have. I read that. I don't want to keep repeating that because it's like two different. I did 3 different scripts, and I tried to take different parts out of it, and it started getting down to the wire. And I said, let me just read it, try to see could I take different things out of it. Offline is brand trust. When players buy a boxing game with deep offline content, they know the game will work in 5 years. Their time investment won't disappear. Their purchase have permanent value. Online only or online first signals the game only matters while servers are healthy. That perception reduces buyer confidence. and especially for full price games. Sales loss would not be gradual. Sales loss would not be gradual. It would be immediately. Sales loss would not be gradual. It would be immediately. If offline was removed or heavily minimized, I butchered that word, but y'all know what I mean. Many buyers would skip day one. Reviews will flag lack of content. Word of mouth will turn negative. Refunds will increase. That's not a slow bleed. That's a front-loaded sales collapse. Offline is not anti-online. It enables it. Let me see. I read that. Let me see. All right. The core problem fans are calling out. Many content creators are framing this as it's the modern era. Competitive online matters more. The framing does two dangerous things. It treats creator experience as representatives of the entire audience. It assumes boxing games behave like esports scale. Neither is true. AJ Pax is in the house. What's up, AJ? Let me see. The framing does two dangerous things. It treats creator experience as representatives of the entire audience. It assumes boxing games behave like esports genres. Neither is true. Creators are overrepresented online. Financially, incentives to push online engagement. A lot of creators are financially incentivized to push online engagement. Insulated from poor offline offerings. That does not make them a proxy for the broader buyer base. AJ, you there?
Yes, I'm just listening to you.
Oh, okay.
I'll jump in once you're ready.
All right, let me get this last paragraph. Estimating fan loss is an online-only boxing game. We cannot pull internal publisher telemetry, but we can model realistic loss genre behavior, sports, game history, and consumer patterns. Conservative, realistic estimates. Let's break down the boxing game audience into rough segments like this aligned with multiple sports games, postmortem, and player surveys across genres. Typical boxing game audience split approximately. Offline primary players is 45 to 55. Hybrid players offline, online, 25 to 35%. Online primary competitive players, 15 to 25%. So the online is not the primary audience. I got data backing up what I'm saying, but y'all saying it off of how y'all feel. You could go ahead.
Yeah, Paul, what's up, man? Yeah, I just want to backtrack. I was listening to the podcast on the delay. So I'm kind of catching up now, but I was listening to the first 30, 45 minutes. So you were talking about the I guess what undisputed possibilities of it going to a totally online format, something to do with something about crooks or something you were talking about.
Yeah. He was pushing that now. He's like, yeah, it should be online only, basically. And I'm like, what do you mean it should be online only? That's going to kill their pockets.
Car Boxing, what's up, man? I got your email. I'm working on it. So it would be a big mistake just to have an online game, just a totally online focus, because I think you kind of mentioned this before, but essentially there's no one once the game, basically what happens when the game stops selling?
Exactly.
There's nothing to fall back on. Or the fact is that if I buy a license for this game and there's really no offline mode, once the servers wrap up, then what? What's the game for now? It's nothing. It's almost like companies that go that route where they don't want to give a proper offline mode, which would link back to a career mode. I think it's almost like you could say it's a form of laziness, or it's a cost saving measures, and to see how stupid the community is to pay full price for it afterwards.
If they give him some that messed up his kidney. Yeah, that's him. That's him enough. He never had no kidney problem. They did exactly what they did with me.
I'm just gonna wait until Poe comes back so I can just run my thoughts across him. Blaster X once said, "Online focus leads to profits over product." Online full, yeah. I can't disagree. The fact is that if the game's not performing well online, there's no incentive to friggin' to further develop it then.
Yeah.
I also think that in terms of a game, it's overall I think it's a mistake too. Just to have a game as an online focus means that it's almost like there's no just we keep on saying fallback, but it almost shows that there's nothing for me to play in an offline state. And I think one of the biggest things here, I'll wait until Poe comes back. I think the biggest connector point is, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there's a game called Rematch. Rematch is this a soccer like game. It's a soccer like game that was released, I think it was in summer of 2025. That game came out. I don't know is anyone familiar with the game called Rematch?
Do you know the medications in it?
Yes, Black. Yeah, I would say it's yeah, it's basically along. It's that whole concept of that. It's not the in Undisputed's word. Undisputed calls himself the most authentic boxing experience, but which is the complete opposite. It's that whole arcade experience, which is Rematch. But one good thing about Rematch is that they're not. If we were to talk about grimy developers such as Steel City Interactive, they have literature on their website talking about the authentic boxing experience. But one thing I want you to notice, if you go and look at the website for Rematch, the soccer game, they don't try to paint the wrong picture. They don't try. They straight out say that this is an arcade soccer game. Therefore, you know what I mean? They're not trying to fool the audience. And I think that's one of the things I can't stand about Undisputed. This whole if they took out the language about authentic boxing experience, I think it would actually sway the community because the community will have a lower expectations at that point. But yeah, I can't stand Rematch. I think when it first came out, I played it. Maybe you have that little honeymoon phase. After about a month, there's nothing else to play. There's no real offline mode. Like they offer, like in terms of offline mode, they'll have like a practice mode kind of thing, but that's not the same thing as playing a game offline. It's not the same thing like I'm playing NBA 2K. You know what I mean? And they have proper offline modes. Yeah, card boxing when everything's good, man. I got the email yesterday. I'm just reviewing all the information and then I'll decide if I'll make contact at that point. I'm really not too familiar with those. I guess I know what an NDA is, but at the same time, I'm not too familiar in terms of what I need to, in terms of how much I have to supply. So I'm just kind of reviewing it, whatever, and then I'll make that decision.
Well, that's okay. That's prove.
But yeah, I did get the email. I got the email yesterday.
Game contest. Oh, assalamu alaikum. I'm back. I apologize. I stepped out the room. Give me a second. Y'all still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just kind of taking on a pause. You were talking. Are you Muslim or you're talking to somebody Muslim?
Talking to my sister-in-law. I don't like to put my business out there, even if I was.
Okay, no worries. No, is this because I forgot? I always forget the saying when you say what's the greeting? Right, and then the reply back. Then the reply back is yeah, exactly. I always anytime I hear it, I always stutter on it or I forget. Like I just can't recall the reply greeting. But anyhow, as I was talking about going back to what we're talking about these offline modes. So I was trying to make a comparison to. Have you heard of a game called Rematch? Rematch Soccer?
No, I heard you talk about it a couple of times, but no.
Right. So Rematch Soccer that came out summer of 2025, right?
Yes.
It is an online focused game, and I'll tell you, after about a month playing, once I got tired of online mode, that's it. I stopped playing it. There's like it in terms of offline mode, what they offer is like a practice mode, really. But it can, but let me see here. It's like a practice mode and free play without the internet connection, right? But the problem is that those are not really. Those are almost like they cheaped out on giving a full-fledged game kind of thing, because once those numbers dwindle, what else is there to do? Like I don't play this game. And also too, it's one of those kind of games I'm not gonna if I was buying the game on disc because I really like it, I'm not gonna buy it on disc. What's the point of buying a game on disc where if everything is really online, that means the disc is going to be obsolete. There's nothing really to do after. Like this is the great thing about companies like 2K when they build their 2K games. They give us those offline sports modes. You know, even EA they give. But the thing is, one thing I want to mention is that when you go through the literature of Rematch, they say in plain English, they don't call this the most authentic soccer experience. They say straight up, this is an arcade soccer game. They don't lie about it. And I think Steel City Inc. is so bad. They're lying to people. Like up to this day, they put on the most boxing authentic experience. And the thing is, why I bring that up too now is that just to make a connector point, I was having like a back and forth argument with a Reddit user today, and I'm pretty sure he must be like 11 or 12 years old, kind of thing, right? But the thing is, he keeps on talking about how to fix this game, and he keeps on saying the reason why the game is broken is because of stamina. What he's saying that what they should do is that in order to invoke a flash KO, because everybody's understanding about flash KOs being random or comeback logic, his thing was that what they have to do is have there has to be a 15% difference in stamina. And right away I said that doesn't make sense. What if I'm at 90 and the other guy's at 80? I'm at 95 and the other guy's at 80% stamina. Why does that have to trigger a flash KO? It makes no sense. There's no where's the real science behind it? Because it really comes down to a stamina bar game kind of thing. And what ends up being is that you're going to play a cat and mouse game back and forth because
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's the online mentality of a lot of people. They're only thinking about this online play.
Yeah, it annoys me. It's like they pushing for hard. It's like the more I listen, I hear people saying it offline. I mean, online.
Like and really, a good game should have a foundation off offline.
Exactly.
And because at the end of the day, when I have to be able to play some kind of mode, not a practice mode, but a proper mode offline, they give you like part of playing sports game. There's a fantasy aspect as well, and you can't really achieve that. Sometimes you want to play you want to play offline and have different kind of leagues and stuff. Or have a certain kind of roster. There's different things you could do offline. But
yeah,
if Undisputed moves this whole concept of online mode and then therefore abandoning everything else, it's a cop out, man.
It is. And they're gonna look at it as being a cheaper way of making a game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because there's
absolutely a cheaper way
and online, and that's why it seems like some of the content creators pushing that. And a lot of these content creators, they're doing exactly what they talk about with real boxing. They want cheap wins. They want everybody that's offline that don't play online to come online so they can build up their records.
And another thing too, with the online guys who just play this game strictly online, a lot of the complaints you're hearing from them about this is broken, that's broken, this is broken. A lot of that is based on emotion, the emotion of losing, not in real life, but losing in a fucking video game.
Yeah.
And then they can't accept that they got beat. But I'm telling you, this is me. I'm gonna say about 90% of these guys who are calling out that the flash KO system is either random or comeback logic. Those same clowns. They'll I don't even say they're trying to box the guy, but they're beating up their opponent for maybe 7 rounds or 6 rounds, and then by the 7th round they say, okay, I'm winning on the cards. I won every round. Therefore, I have a right now to chase my opponent down and try to finish him off. It doesn't matter. There's no consequence that if I try to go for the ultimate knockout, I shouldn't have any consequence to that. Yeah, and that's the problem. And that's the problem with these with a player that's basing their everything on emotion.
Yeah.
It bothers me, man. Like this whole thing. And you know what? At one point too, if you look at the archives back in I don't know, was it this summer or last summer? We did an episode where we were actually talking about comeback logic. But the thing is that but now that I've played it more and I really studied the game, I said there's no comeback logic. It's just somebody who got greedy and doesn't want to admit to it.
That's exactly it. So it's like no matter how they design the game, if it's more realistic, they still gonna find a way to complain about losing.
Well, here's the thing now, going back to that whole stamina bar thing, the person and again the person goes on to tell me that it's just a video game. It's just a bunch of 0 and 1s. You cannot you cannot simulate. I said yes, you can. You could. The fact is there's simulators out there. There's There's different kind of simulator. It really comes down to getting the right team together, extract the knowledge from their head, and have a good programmer who knows how to translate. And then you'll have those aspects. Like I'm like, if you think about for the last 2-3 weeks, we've been going about how do we get rid of the stamina bar? We have to start looking at pounds per square inch and create those simulation aspects in the game to get rid of the stamina bar. So the game, because really, like what we have here is almost like if you think about Street Fighter only has one bar. It's just your health bar. But with this boxing game, we have 2 bars. So it's like a balancing act with these 2 bars. But the reality is it's not having these stamina bars does not simulate nothing. It simulates certain aspects, but not. I truly believe that you'll never be able to properly simulate what a flash KO is in a video game, or just or not even just the whole concept of knocking somebody out unconscious. You can't get that you'll never get that properly from a stamina bar, because it all boils down to what the community is saying. Maybe if we say, as of today, this community thinks that, okay, well, as long as the stamina bar is at 30%, it's deserving to have a flash KO. And then maybe 3 months later, when everybody gets used to how to play the game, everyone starts to complain. Okay, let's give them a balancing up there. Let's increase it to 40%. Let's increase it to 50%, 60% now, because the thing is the audience is evolving. That's one thing. The players are going to evolve with the balancing.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Steel City or anybody who wants to make a boxing, they have to start figuring out how do you get rid of that? How do you get rid of these bars and actually put in the simulation aspects of it?
Yeah. And my thing is the bar, it's like an option. Like, yeah, you don't want the bar there, it shouldn't be there. It's easy to do. That's what people be saying. You don't know what you're talking about. It's called research. It's the internet. You could type.
Another thing.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, say you could type in any AI and ask them, like, is it possible to do such? Even Google, because a lot of people think, hey, AI is going to tell you what they want you to do. Go to Google. Do your research. It can be done.
Anybody who says that video games is a bunch of binary code, it's just the laziest excuse.
Yeah, trying to sound smart
to get their way. All it is that I'm getting my ass beat because it's certain. So therefore, I'm going to complain to see if they could change that. Just change when the trigger the event based on the stamina bar. It's bullshit.
Yeah,
it's just absolute bullshit, man.
Yeah. 100%. That's what be getting me mad, because with what's called, he was getting me heated the more he was talking, because he was saying things, and then he tried to act like he was being like he's trying to be like he wasn't being biased, but he was being biased. And I was like, yo, he's really talking against fans having to me, a good content creator, they serve offline and online. They serve both fan bases, but they starting to like, hey, online is on this. That's our main focus now. I ain't see what Pryor was saying, but I tagged him into a post that I made. I don't know if he said something about online only should be the focus. I think Jay alluded to it.
But you know what? Going back to that whole thing about crooks, and maybe all the other content creators, one thing we got to make sure is that when they say online, it has to be. In what context are they saying online? Are they saying online in the context that it has to be? We just want an online only game.
That's what I'm getting from it.
Which will be like a rematch, or are they saying that based on what we're seeing right now, because of the lack of dedicated servers, therefore they have to fix the online, meaning, okay, now we have to implement the dedicated servers?
I think you mean just being online.
It'll be a disappointing experience, man.
And they will lose a lot of money. They think because it's going to be, if they want the game to be online only, players going to buy it. That's not how it works. If they don't want to play online, they're not gonna buy. People buy the game because they got offline version of it. I remember plenty of times I went to the store and say, "Hey, do it got an offline?" Yeah, all right, I'm buying it. Especially a lot of older people. They think the older generation doesn't have they don't make up for the money that's being spent. Yeah, you have some older people that's casual. So they're spending money on the game too, and they don't want to play online. It's too
Yo,
toxic.
another thing too is about if a game is only online, it won't have no legacy.
Nope.
No
Nope.
legacy, man. It's just
Nope.
it's short-term profits. That's all it is.
Yup. Short-term profits, and it dies away. It goes away real quick. As far as what's your experience with it? You can't really say too much about it. Like
Another. Oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
go on.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I'm gonna go in a different direction.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Another thing I picked out of. By the way, the only reason I watched Crook's video today because I've learned something about that guy after seeing his content since I guess since version 1.0 came out, kind of thing. That this guy is a master in creating clickbait titles.
Yeah,
It's
man.
annoying, and I used to fall. Now I don't fall for it, but today I
He
saw
got
his
he got
the one the scam is undisputed a scam because that right now that seems to be the trending topic with all the content creators. Even Pry had one, but at least Pry he didn't I think he stuck
did
to his guns.
backtrack. He
Yeah,
stuck his
but
guns.
right, but I should have known when I saw it. I should have known this is just Crooks doing his clickbait his clickbait again, man. I
And
don't
he
know why he
know
does
he
it, man.
do it.
It's
And
annoying, man.
he know he does it too. He said it. He said
It's
it's not
annoying, man.
clickbait. People be thinking I be making posts and he's being sarcastic about it. Nah, it be clickbait. 100% clickbait.
But one good thing he brought up today, I don't know how it came up, but he called out CSI staff member, not staff, well CSI, what's her name? Staff,
Yeah.
which is the owner's daughter.
Yeah.
He brought her name up there because they're talking about one of the issues too with Undisputed is that they have no respect for the community and how in terms of how they relay communications.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're trolling the community, and you know, and it's the truth, man. Can you imagine like my main like the reality is people like Staff and Jack Shep, they're the ones who push me to open my mouth and go on YouTube now because of how they treat the community. They sit down there, they don't want to hear the truth, and they come up with reasons to ban you from the Discord in order to close I guess they just don't want people to hear the truth about this game.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, man, like I as an early adopter too. I'm an early adopter. I bought this from early access, and then I went to buy the deluxe, the base game with the deluxe, and then I go and I buy all the friggin' and then I go and I support this company buying all the DLC, and they have very immature people who are running the show down there. It's amazing. They don't get it, man. We're fucking dropping money for you guys, man. And you get how the fuck you think you guys are getting paid?
They don't care.
They don't care because they got the money. It's that they're selling, but it's like you guys are getting paid because early adopters and people who are hoping that okay, you guys are gonna come up with patch updates, not DLC. And what do they do after? They hide in the Discord. They go on there and they do their bans and whatever kind of crap they want to do. It's like I've never met a software development company like this in my life, to tell you the truth.
Me neither.
And usually I don't have my camera on today. Usually I usually have when I want to call out these people, I'll put my camera on, but I can't put it on today. But I usually have it on to let them see my face. I'm a paying customer, man.
Yeah.
You fuckers wouldn't have had can you imagine, like we're buying early access to support you guys. and you're taking big shits on the community every time by doing all these antics. Like if you like basically if you you need maybe it's a matter you need to get people a certain age group now to actually run the show. You can't have people in their 20s and 30s because who are they have? They're too immature.
Yeah, 100%. My thing is, why they still ain't say nothing? It's been what? They came back from vacation and nothing. Nothing. We didn't hear anything.
Well, the direction now is this whole thing about going on to the so every month. So I think a lot of people it's not Game Pass, but on PlayStation, depending on whatever what do you call it? Whatever tier you have, there's 3 tiers in PlayStation. You have the essentials, then you got the other one, and then you got the highest tier kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So basically, the lowest tier for the month, I guess, of February, they're gonna allow you to download the game for free. Yeah. So one of the interesting thing was well, I got pissed right away because I bought the damn game, you know what I mean? I spent all this freaking money, and now it's gonna be now they're gonna have it for that month for free to play, and it's not a trial. As long as the game is listed, as long as it's free that month, and you click the button to download it, you get to keep it forever until they delist it from the library, from the thing. So
that's digital. That's the digital part I don't like.
Well, yo, can you imagine this? Can you imagine that there's going to be a bunch of suckers who end up getting the free base copy and then they go buy all the DLC? Can you imagine what happened when they freaking pull Steel Sea or wherever they pulled the plug on or they delisted? All those DLCs are worthless after because then you're gonna have to go buy the damn base game after.
Yeah, that's exactly they hustling.
Yeah, card boxing, the monthly membership also. Like if we talk about the PlayStation Plus Essential, that's how we get to play the games on. That's how we get to play online modes. You have to have a. It's just like Xbox, so they have whatever they call it. Yeah. Not Xbox Pass, but the Xbox Network. You need to have a subscription in order to play people online.
Yeah, my son, he gets the year version. He gets the
it's cheaper. Yeah, it's way cheaper to get the yearly version, man. Of the even of Essential.
Yeah. That's crazy. It becomes annoying.
But what's his name? I saw Jay. He made an interesting post on Reddit.
Who?
JMMA.
Oh, okay. What did he say?
Basically, he was asking the community on Reddit if they think that by adding this game, now that this game is going to be on the PlayStation Plus for the month of February or whatever, right? And it's going to be for free. If that's basically going to expose, is it going to expose the Undisputed game? And I replied back to him. I think my answer was yes. What's going to happen is you're going to have all these people, they're going to download it, and right away they're going to say, wait a minute, how come the punches don't land?
Yeah.
In offline mode. How come the punches don't land in online mode, which goes back to the desync. There's punch deregistration in offline mode, and then the online mode, to compound it, they got desync. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then eventually they're gonna start doing your research, and they're gonna find your podcast, and they're gonna find all the people since day one who have been complaining, and they're gonna eventually learn how the developers don't even issue patches to fix the problems with the game. They're gonna come to realize what the expose is going to be, that this game is just a cash cow for DLC, and they're not even releasing proper patch updates to fix anything anymore.
You know, I used to defend them real, like when it come to everything. I was like, nah, man, they need the DLC to help the company and stuff like that. Not no more.
No,
I don't defend that nonsense. I don't defend when people try to manipulate people and they being slick. Don't play that junk.
What I want to know is how come none of the faces now from Steel Sea, how come they don't want to talk? How come they're not creating content that's community anymore?
From what I was told, that they're scared to they're scared to say anything because they don't know how the fan base is going to take it. It ain't gonna be no different than what we're saying now. It's gonna be the same kind of energy.
You know what? Whoever is in charge of the community, what do you call that position? Like it's their communication lead, whatever. That person, whoever advised them to put in all the marketing information, the most authentic boxing experience. That's one of the root causes of the problem. Why the fan base is so upset.
Yeah.
If they would have been truthful, like Rematch, the soccer game, who just said straight out, this is not. They're not even saying authentic. They're saying it's a soccer game, but it's an arcade game, and we're trying to have fun.
Yeah, that'll make more sense.
They
was manipulating people. There's manipulating people. So there's like, we just say authentic, and because authentic carry many things. Let's just use the authentic word, and we could draw them in.
But let me ask you this now, based on the whole authentic argument, or what is authentic about this game outside of the character likenesses?
The names, that's it.
Okay, the names are authentic, the character likenesses are authentic, the trademarks are authentic.
They took the traits out, from my understanding. I don't know. They said
no. The trademarks, all the different kind of trademarks, like BoxRec, WBC,
that
IBF, like all the trademarks, all those kind of stuff. You know what's sad too? Talk about BoxRec. They have a friggin' trademark and they don't even use it properly.
They don't use it properly.
Who's the, like, that's to show you how these guys they don't want to develop this game. They abandon it. You know how easy it is? Instead of when the loading screen comes on for either offline or online mode and it shows what's your boxer record, why don't they have the trademark for BoxRec?
Yeah, that's crazy. And I went out my way to get I helped them get BoxRec. And they didn't use it the way that, and I asked the guy, he won't even respond. Because he probably on the NDA. He won't respond back to me. But I used to talk to him all the time.
So we're talking about trademarks, cosmetics, likenesses, and all that. But now let's get to the meat and potatoes now of the game. Let's talk about the punching. What is authentic about the punching?
Nothing to me, especially to me. A lot of people, they just happy that they got the punch, any kind of punches in the game. It's not authentic. All the punches styles are not authentic to the boxers.
Well, the case they're making, again, they didn't tell me, but how many punch animations they said they have in the game? I don't know, 60 or 100 or whatever that number was.
I thought they said a couple of about 1,000 or something like that. Or am I over exaggerating? I thought Ash said that we got over some amount. I know it's a lot. It was a big number.
It's a big number, but is that what it's because? Is it because they have captured 60 ways to throw a punch? Therefore, that answers the authenticity or the authentic part of the meat and potatoes of the game.
I don't see that in the game. That many punch variants in the game.
Okay. What about the I don't know, sidestepping or stepping 45 degrees in the game?
It's like when you look at the game, it doesn't scream authenticity to me. It doesn't scream realistic box, like just the whole feel of what boxing looks like, and and everything.
Well, if we go to the presentation, that's a fail there too.
Yeah.
Why would you have they have the zone?
That right there.
And the damn game doesn't even come off like a DAZN broadcast.
It doesn't. That's crazy. That's crazy. What's up, Kanisi? He said the boxers can never fall back in Undisputed, which is not realistic.
They gave us that on version 1.0, and right away they took it away. The version 1.0 came out October 2024. Today is January 2026. We haven't seen that thing in over a year and counting since they took that away. And the funny thing is, you would think that they took it away because they're gonna work on it. No, they
Yeah.
didn't even work on it, man. They took it
Yeah.
away, and it's like, fuck it, man. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe that shit, man.
They do that with everything. I heard that Turkey left them. Turkey not working with Steel City no more.
What do you think? What
The
do you think the reason for
Riyadh
that?
system. Like he's not, you know, I guess he's not promoting them no more from what I heard. That's crazy right there.
Well, yo, if the whole thing is if he comes out with his TKO brand boxing game, then yeah, I could see that happening. And but my fears are that because Capcom is developing that game, Capcom it's gonna have Street Fighter written all over it. That's the mindset. I can't see Capcom. Like, when's the last time Capcom made a sports simulator?
Plo says authentically inauthentic.
Yep, that's very true.
What's up, Plo? Yeah, man.
I think at one.
Go ahead.
No, you go. I'm just kind of ranting, but
yeah, it's just annoying that people keep saying it's their first game, and then they want us to be quiet and so it's their first game. You gotta give them a break because I'm like, no, I can't give them a break. They have veterans on their team. Hold up.
I think you mentioned earlier that there was six. The game was really it started about 6 years ago.
Yeah, 6 years ago they started development on this game. Let me see. Jay said, I mean, the deal they had with Sid wasn't long term anyway. Both parties got what they wanted.
What's Sid? Who's Sid?
I don't know. I think the Saudis.
Okay.
They.
I don't know. I hope for the best. I hope that I hope Turkey and those guys, if they can make a good boxing game.
Yeah, me too. What's called said. Blast the Egg said they couldn't even change the time overlay color to the zone colors. Yeah, it was real poor. Everything they did is so poorly, and everybody keep giving them an excuse. Talking about it's their first time. No, y'all, it's veterans on the team. I think Aimbot is the only person on the team that didn't have experience like the veterans. A lot of them guys, they had experience.
You know what would make my day if Turkey actually came out and said, the reason why we cut sponsorship is because that idiot Will Kinsler.
Oh man, that'd be funny. That'd be funny.
Yeah, that would make my if I got that should be CSI's strategy right now. If you want to kind of get the community off your back, pay Turkey Al Sheikh to say that, and everyone will have a good laugh, man. And we'll all go away.
Man, he'd never live that down. Let me see it. He said,
hey, when's the last time you heard about the game designer, what's his name? Darby.
Oh yeah. Who was that? One of them, they looked at my profile. They was looking at my profile and stuff.
If it's Darby, Darby's one of the lead game designers.
Yeah. On LinkedIn, I see that he's looking at my stuff. Let me see. Random Thoughts. What's up, Random Thoughts? Salute. Undisputed needs to just start from scratch and make their own unique game and not copy Fight Night this time.
No, they won't. They're gonna copy. They're gonna copy Fight Night.
Probably might be an identical one this time. Autocorrect. I laughing all I meant Saudi. That's what I thought you said was meant. They Random Thought said they switched up the mechanics, but you can tell the game is heavily influenced by Fight Night Champion. Yep. We got some influence. The only thing that makes them stand out a lot is the foot movement. And the foot movement is not the same